Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Today, Brad, we're going to talk about the best science-based video to help cure back pain.
Exactly.
So we're using research in this thing.
This is
highly researched.
Right, and we're gonna go off of this book written by Adrian Lowell, as well as he's got a couple co-authors, Timothy Flynn and Emilio. I hope I pronounce this right.
Pendera.
Yeah, I think that's it. These are all physical therapists. They all have their PhD, they're researchers, and they've been around for a number of years, and they've really put some time. And actually, this book itself has 70 references on science-based studies.
Cool.
I mean, so all the information we're going to talk about, it's got great support.
We're big Adrian Lowell fans. In fact, we're going to be featuring another one of his books coming up here real soon. So, he does a good job, and we really like the concepts that he covers.
Right.
So.
Sure, Bob, there's about 327 people out there.
Hey, how you doing? If you are new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, if you get the chance, go over to Facebook and like us, because Brad dressed like an elf today, according to Lonnie, and just for you, so that you would like him.
Yeah. So, well, it's we're right around the corner. We got a week before Christmas.
Yeah. You might be watching this video later, but it's Christmas right now coming up. So.
Right. So, anyways, we'll talk about this book and back pain. Now, back pain is something that it's estimated 90% of the people, of the population, suffers it sometime during their life.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if you haven't had some back pain in your life, if you're one of the few.
Right. Especially if you're older like us.
Right.
Been around the horn a little bit.
Yeah.
So the name of the book is Everyone Has Back Pain. So just as we alluded, I don't know if everyone, but most people do. And how do you deal with it? Because over the years, and that's one thing they pointed out in this book, is back pain has not just been around in the last 50 years, it's been around for centuries.
The cavemen had it. It was something that everybody has been dealing with, and they've have I've seen even old textbooks where reference pictures that it was before pictures were even in books that they had.
Sure.
Things that,
right. So it's been around forever. Yeah. And how things were dealt, a few hundred years ago compared to in the last 50 years are quite a bit different. As a matter of fact, they bring out the good point, since the 1940s, disability from back pain has gone tremendously up.
Yeah, so what we're trying to say is the amount of back pain probably has not gone up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the number of people having back pain has probably been the same.
Right.
But the amount of disability has gone up.
Right.
And there's a reason for that.
Right. You think, well, with modern medicine.
Yeah, you think it would be going down.
Right. And it's not. It's going the opposite direction. And you think about 1940s, X-rays were starting to become used regularly at the time, and since then, more scans, MRIs, CAT scans, all those things are part of the cure or the problem.
Right. And we're going to kind of allude to today is that often is the problem.
Right.
I mean, people, they have the scan. Well, I'm going to let you keep going on, Brad.
You want me to keep babbling about that?
Yeah, keep gabbling about it.
Okay. So understanding, if you do have a scan, because I've had people say, oh, I've got back pain, I better go in and get an MRI and get to the bottom of this.
Right.
And I'm thinking,
they want a diagnosis. They want to, and back pain is very complicated, and you're going to see things on this scan that may be relevant or it may not be relevant, and that's the problem.
Right. For example, and we've talked about this before, there's many studies on this. It's definitely proven, and all doctors know it, is they'll take 40 healthy people, active people doing everything they normally do. They're not just sitting at the desk, but they're going out and playing baseball and softball and whatever.
Not a lick of a problem.
Right. They scan them with an MRI or a CAT scan, and they find problems. They find herniated discs in a great percentage of them.
Bulging discs, herniated discs.
Right.
Yep.
So the scan is showing a herniated disc. Should that person have surgery? Should they go have therapy? Well, they're having zero pain, their movement, the body's adapted to it.
Of course not.
It's just, right. So on the other hand, so you do have back pain, and let's say you already had a herniated disc that your body's adapted to, but the back pain is there from a different source, but the MRI shows this herniated disc. All the energy and the mental aspect.
Yeah, all you're going to focus on is that herniated disc.
Right.
I have a herniated disc. I can't get better. I have a herniated disc.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and so mentally, this starts putting you more into a disabled population.
Right, because the psychological aspect of it, which with pain, how you mentally think about it and the psychology of it is incredibly influences or creates pain or what do we call that term where you
Amplify? Or?
amplify?
Yeah.
Right.
So
the hypersensitivity.
Right. Your nerves become hypersensitive because you've created, the brain has played this role in trying to protect you.
I want to talk about 3 examples that people typically and commonly come into the clinic with back pain. One is I got arthritis in my back. I've got back pain. I'm stuck with it forever.
Yep. I hear it all the time. And yet, if you would take Brad and I, well, let's just take me, because we know you have spondylolisthesis. I don't have any back pain. You go take an X-ray of my back right now, or MRI. Right. I'll bet you're going to find degenerative changes. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're going to find arthritis.
Well, Bob, you're old.
Yeah, I'm old, and that's the case. I mean, and that's one of the points we're going to make out, is when you're in your 50, the percentage of people that have a herniated disc with no pain is higher than when you're 40. When you're 60, it goes up. When you're 70, it goes up. By the time you're 70, 80, it's like 70% of the people have a herniated disc, and they don't have any symptoms.
Right, or arthritic changes. Yeah. It's just the aging process.
It's the aging process, exactly.
So those scans, and another point, I'm sure you've heard this. The doctor has told me that's the worst X-rays I've ever seen of a back.
Yeah, that you have the X-ray of an 80-year-old or 90-year-old, even though you're in your 40s.
And so psychologically, that person is just, a doctor just told them their back is absolutely terrible.
Well, the first thing they're going to think is, I can't get better.
Right. I'm going to need surgery.
Yeah, I'm going to need surgery. And while some of those things aren't, first off, you don't want to have surgery if you can avoid it. But secondly, it's not going to help.
Right. And I'm going to give an example. I had a person, the doctor called me up. He said, I want you to see this woman. Her back looks like a train ran over it. That's what he said.
Wow.
I said, oh, wow. And he says, I'm going to send you X-rays over. And I looked at it, and sure enough, it really looked
like
bad.
a train ran over.
It really looked severe. I thought, this woman's going to be coming in with a walker and severe pain. And here she's a 60, 65-year-old woman. She was a farmer. She's stout. She's aggressive, and she's got this bold personality. And she says, well, the doctor sent me over. She said, I got some back problems. And I looked at her. She just walked in like, she's ready to go to work somewhere. And I could not believe it when you looked at her. She looked.
Was she having pain?
No.
Oh, good.
Well, she had a little bit of pain,
but not enough to warrant even probably therapy.
She did not take that information from the doctor seriously, because
good for her.
Her personality was she had work to do.
Yeah, I don't have time to have problems.
Right, and so I gave her some exercises. She was happy to learn them, and she went on with her life. But there are a lot of people, including myself, I might have said, oh my gosh, I've got to really change my lifestyle.
Yeah, I got a bad back, and I've had so many patients like that, and if they buy into it, it's so hard to get them out of that way of thinking. Right,
precisely. And I think the other one is people say, my back is thrown out.
Yeah.
And once it's thrown out, you got to get it popped back in. Yeah. And if you understand the back does not shift and pop and then go back in.
Right.
The crackling that you find, you'd happen with your back at the chiropractor, it's, cavitation. It's from the facet joints where they open and close, just like when you pop your knuckle. Well, can't do it right now on my knuckles, but it's the same thing. So there's a lot of myths that people don't understand. So if you understand and educate yourself, watch our videos, and if you read something, this book really goes into some good analogies to make you understand and relate to exactly what we're talking about in a much more detailed manner.
Well, what struck me, Brad, is because I've read a number of these books, is they showed the scan of a brain that was having pain. Mm-hmm. And then they showed the same person, the same scan, after the person was educated, and that amount of pain had gone down. I mean, just by educating the person, the number of the nerves weren't as fired up afterwards.
So these scans are showing the activity of the brain.
Right, activity of the brain, and the brain really gets hypersensitive. Like we're gonna, the nerves get hypersensitive because of fear and anxiety and all these things. And if you calm that down, the pain calms down too.
Right. So like an example, I had a person come in with spondylolisthesis. Big term, hard to pronounce.
Yeah,
and you think,
it's got to be something serious.
Yeah, I've got spondylolisthesis. I got real problems, and it worked well with me because I have spondylolisthesis, and it changes my lifestyle a little bit, but I still.
Yeah, you're very active.
I'm still very active, and I work with it, and I explain to the person what it was about, what you need to focus on, what you need to avoid, and the person walked out feeling so much better. It's like, oh, I guess I don't have this big disease that's going to change my life and make me in a wheelchair.
Right.
So the whole psychological aspect of understanding your problem can make a tremendous difference. I'm feeling better already, Bob.
I am too. I feel lots better.
So
in the end, what we want to summarize here, Brad?
Well, summarize, learn something about your diagnosis, not just from what the 5-minute the doctor has with you.
Right.
You know, you go to our videos. Okay, we're going to explain it to you from our 50 years of experience. Get some books and read some books. Now I can guarantee you this is not one of the books that are going to have all kinds of terminology that's going to be way over your head if you're not in the medical field.
This was written for the layperson.
It is, and it's going to help make you feel so much better about understanding, and gives you some answers on what to do to calm things down.
I'll have it in the link below. And by the way, Brad and I really likes these books because they have these binders on them that you can open the page and just leave it to that page.
Right.
Also, it's just very handy to read.
It is.
Like if you're doing something and you're reading it. So I love this style.
I sit in my living room. I was reading this, and it's like it's time to go to bed. I put it to the page. I just set it on
right
there on the end table, and the next night it's ready to go. It is a really, we should do this with some of our books.
I do. I think so too. It's very functional.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure, but anyways, so once again, we've got to find one of these books on what are having problems.
Well, we can fix just about anything
except for that broken heart.
Yeah.
But we can get a book on that.
Yeah, we will. We'll feel better about it. Thanks for watching.